Kiswahili heroes are people who develop Kiswahili. Those Kiswahili over their ethnic language or colonial language. In addition to this, such people did promote and develop Kiswahili language for us and the generation to come. Extend that Kiswahili to be the African lingua franca. In order for someone to be Swahili heroes or heroine, individual does not have to be Swahili speaker. In fact, half of Swahili heroes are not Swahili speakers. Mwalimu Nyerere, on July 7, 1954, the founder of Tanzanian nationalism, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, adopted Swahili as a unifying language in the struggle for freedom, political independence, and national unity. That is why 100% of Tanzanians speak Swahili today. Mwalimu Nyerere also established teams of teachers to teach Swahili around East Africa country. He was an instrument in establishing of Kiswahili language to the official language of East Africa community. That was established in 1967. During Nyerere presidency, Swahili was established to be the language used in every government institution in Tanzania. Mwalimu Nyerere also could have picked his ethnic language like most of African leaders did and still do today, but he chose Swahili language, which was minority spoken back in those days. He was the first to speak Swahili language in National Assembly, 10th of December 1960, after one day of the Tanzanian independence. Mwalimu Nyerere also promotes Swahili language to be used by freedom fighters from Mozambique, South Africa, anti-apartheid, Angolans, fighters, Namibians, and Zambians. For those reasons and more, Mwalimu Nyerere is a Swahili hero. Mwalimu Nyerere was the first to translate the four Gospels to Swahili. Today, you cannot separate Tanzania with the Swahili language. Dr. Nkrumah. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was the first Ghanaian president in the West Africa country. He saw Kiswahili to be the only way to unite the state of Africa. As he said in his independence speech, today is independence of Ghana. Tomorrow is the United States of Africa. Despite the fact that Dr. Nkrumah did not speak Swahili, he was the first person to take Swahili to the West Africa country, Ghana. In the 1960s, Nkrumah's Pan-Africanism ideologies and advocated Swahili adoption as an African continental lingua franca. This formed the key motivational factor for the adoption of Swahili by the institution such as the Ghanaian Broadcasting Corporation, Ghanaian Institution of Language, and the University of Ghana. Until today, Swahili is still taught at the University of Ghana. Beside the promotion of Swahili to where it is today, Dr. Nkrumah was the only high priest of the Pan-Africanism, United States of Africa. Dr. Maulana Ndabezi Karenga. Dr. Maulana born Ronald McLean Everett in July 14, 1941, previously known as Ron Karenga, in an American activist, author, and professor of African Studies at California State University, Long Beach. Dr. Maulana holds 2 PhDs of political science and social ethics from South Africa University of Durban. He is the best known as the creator of the Pan-Africanism and African American holiday of Kwanzaa. Dr. Maulana is all-the-time Swahili hero. Dr. Maulana started to advocate Swahili and the Pan-African since 1964. Majority of black people in US are attached with Swahili language because of his effort. In fact, due to his establishment of Kwanzaa, there is many black university known as Historical Black College University at teaching Kiswahili. Dr. Magufuli. John Pombe Joseph Magufuli, 29 October 1959 to 17 March 2021, was the 5th president of Tanzania, serving from 2015 until his days in 2021. Dr. Magufuli was chairman of the South African Development Community from 2019 to 2020. Dr. Magufuli was the first to get Swahili adopted in SADC in 2019. Also, President Magufuli opened many Swahili classes in every Tanzanian embassy around the globe. During his visit in Namibia, President of Namibia adopted Swahili, and President Magufuli provided a resource to facilitate teaching of Kiswahili in Namibia. After that, Dr. Magufuli called for amendment of the law and regulation to accommodate Swahili language in delivery of a court judgment in Tanzania. For his time, Swahili is used for court judgment. During this time in the office, Dr. Magufuli increased Swahili scholarships. People from Burundi, Rwanda, Kenya, Ghana, and Uganda traveled to the University of Dar es Salaam to study Swahili. The 29th of January 2017, Dr. Magufuli delivered his speech at the African Union in Swahili, and he became the first person to speak Swahili in the African Union. From 2020, Swahili became the latest language to be taught in the Africa. Swahili to be adopted in African Union as working language during a session that held from 5 to 6 February 2022 was the effort to Dr. Magufuli. Finally, Magufuli never speak other language during the time he was president, while other leaders are proud of to speak colonial language. A common indigenous language in modern national states is a powerful factor of unity. It promotes the feeling of a single community. Additionally, it makes possible the expansion of idea, economic target, and cultural identity. President Joseph Pombe Magufuli. Vice President Francia Marcus Mina. Francia Elena Marcus Mina, born in 1st December 1981, is a Colombian human rights, environmental activist and lawyer, who is the 30th and current Vice President of Colombia. She is also the first African or Black Vice President of Colombia. After her first visit to Africa on May 15, 2023, Vice President Francia announced that Kiswahili will be offered to Colombians of Africa origin and to anyone who would like to learn the language. This is important for reconnecting with roots and rebuilding historical memory. During her visit to Africa, Marquez signed an accord to enable teachers from the South America country to travel to Africa to teach Spanish, while teachers from the Africa countries, especially Kenya, will have the opportunity to teach Swahili in a state school in Colombia. Africans in Colombia make up 10% of Colombians. 50 million people of Africa descend. Finally, however you do about Kiswahili, Africa is watching. Mungu ibariki Africa.